Stick my back to the store. Don't blame you, man. He's a big boy, man.
What up? This is a special episode. We're actually next to each other for the first time
First time ever.
on camera, at least.
Yeah.
Not ever.
yeah, on camera. Of course, yeah.
No, first time on camera. We've actually managed to get together. We're gonna go do some rolling at Gordon's gym, Factory Fresh, which you guys did a sexy promo for.
Yeah.
You take showers in the parking lot, apparently.
It's part of the
with a
perks.
hose.
Come for Jiu-Jitsu and stay for the showers.
You get hosed down like you have lice or something. Deloused.
Yeah. It's just a garden hose.
This is a garden hose.
But
It could be worse.
No, it works though. It works.
Could be worse. Garden hoses, summer showers,
Well,
nice.
I don't know what we're gonna do for the fall and winter, but like during the summer and late spring, it's like it's warm enough to shower. It's still pretty cold, even like that shower was a cold shower for sure.
I mean, after a hot roll.
Yeah, you want it.
You want
yeah.
I always have to do, because I'm terrified of staph because I had that horrible staph infection.
Yeah.
I always get home and it's like the hottest shower I can possibly have with all the soap that I have in the shower, all the blends, everything, and then immediately a cold shower after because I don't like being too hot.
Yeah.
So a garden hose sounds like just a perfect plan. But yeah, we're gonna do some rolling. It's an open mat. I said on my little diary there, if you guys seen that, a little nervous, a little excited, but like that's the same thing everybody says.
That's the usual open
It's
mat.
normal.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know who's gonna. I know you're gonna be there,
But to be fair, like when I first started going to open mat, I was a little nervous too because I'm like, oh, how's this like going to be like? It's pretty chill. It's just like my class, and because I always show up late, like I mentioned before, like always because of work and my schedule. So it's always almost like an open mat to me. It's with more structure, obviously, because like. But I usually
do some drills, technique.
I usually get like if there's like 3 techniques, I get the last one, and then I'm like oblivious to what's going on, and we start to roll, and then depending on the structure of the rolling, it's like it's almost like open mat to me.
Well, for me, at class, there's usually 3 techniques, which I think is pretty standard.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
2 or 3. But I'm only gonna remember one of them, unless one of them stand up. Like if there's 2 on the ground and 1 stand up, then I kind of remember the 2. But if there's like 3 on the ground, I might remember 1 and a half.
I usually remember
and
one.
Then
the one that the one that
feels the best.
The most. Yeah, the one I did the best is the one I remember.
Well, that's the thing. Is my coach, my professor said, like, look, I'm going to show you all this stuff. I'm going to show you evolutions of all this stuff and how this goes to this. I expect you, when he points to like a brown belt, to remember most of this because you've seen the first 15 steps before. So you should be adding on to the end. But like, you new people over here, just worry about the first 3 things.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to remember the entire sequence. And even if you get through it today in skills, when we go to drill, you're not going to remember this shit, right?
Yeah.
So like, just try to pick up what you got instead of trying to memorize it all.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think like I said, I'm barely there for technique, yet I've improved significantly since I started, and I think it's because I take in what I can remember. Also, like because my gym has a social media account like with YouTube and Instagram, so they usually post like what they've been doing. So I usually look if I miss it, if I miss it today, tomorrow I'll look at, oh shit, this is what I missed, and then I usually like try drilling that in my mind or on the floor, and it looks kind of like spastic because I'm like shadow rolling, but I kind of work it out in my head, and so when I go to roll, I'll at least attempt it. Usually fails. I'm like, oh shit. I drill in the rows, so like I mentioned before, to my detriment, I will try something that I'm completely new at, and then I usually don't tell the people I'm training with. And if it works, I'm like, oh yeah, eureka, which I feel like it sticks more. And then if it doesn't work, it's like, oh, I'll probably need to do more homework on that. And then I'll come back to it eventually, or I just never ever go back to it. Some things I decide I'm never going to do. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is no.
I mean, sometimes it just doesn't work for your body mechanics. We were doing triangles, which I'm not great with from the bottom. And So we were doing a whole bunch of different triangles from different spots. The next day, my lower back was just tweaked because I got these short, stubbly legs that are real thick. Not great for setting up triangles. So there was a lot of movement, and I think I had a hamstring injury under my left hamstring.
Yeah, that'll do it good.
And it just irritated the fuck out of it. And then I was an idiot, of course. I was like, let's do some deadlifts because it doesn't feel that bad. So it's been sore. It's still sore. No amount of stretching is really, it's gotten better, but then of course I went and rolled. And
it's
roll and you just,
it's kind of tough. Like it's like you don't want to miss out rolls and stuff. It's not in so much pain that it stops you from training. And it's kind of tough when especially when you get warmed up. You're like, fuck it.
It's all right. It's fine.
I'll get better. This is good for me.
But then I'm starting to feel like all those memes or gifs or whatever of the jiu-jitsu guy getting off the couch and you just kind of like waddling away.
No, it's like, true. Waking up in the morning sometimes, I'm just like, I regret.
It fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
For me, it's my neck because I invert a lot now.
Good for you. I don't.
You know what? That was just by fluke, because one day, last technique of the day, I walk in, again, like 25 minutes late, and then my instructor, he inverts. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Like the way he did it, right? Like he let the guy pass, and he scooped he scooped the leg, so the guy's coming to the right side, and he just like an open guard, like. Just completely open. The guy's passed completely. He inverted. I'm like, that looks interesting. So I thankfully I rolled with another guy that was like, he's pretty muscular, but he's like, he's my age, older guy. And then, but he's really like, he's not floppy. Sometimes you need like a partner that is like, solid. And then he's a little bit shorter too. So I didn't have to reach up and to go against a guy who's like 6'2", 6'4", whatever. So when I inverted against on him, I'm like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. And he did to me. And then I really like training partners. Like we got pretty good gym. So like for the most part, like I think if you're blue belt and up, it's like a lot of dialogue. So there's a lot of talking. It's like I'll do it like 2 times, and you do it 2 times, and like, how that feels? Like that was shit. It's like maybe if you try this, and then what I would do is like someone will do it to me, the invert. It feels loose as fuck. I'll grab their hips and like drag them up. I'm like, this is tight. Like this is what you want. I'm really off balance, and you got my leg. And then they're like, oh, okay. So they'll do it again, and it'll be better. And then I'll let them do 2. I try to be a good training partner. I'll let them say if they have 2 or 3 tries at it. I'll give them 4, 5, 6 tries. And then it's like, okay, my turn. And it's reciprocal, right? So I'll do it. They're like, oh, that was shit, Gordon. And then we'll work on it until I get it. So like, and that's what I think. That's why my jiu-jitsu got better. It's just a ton of dialogue, and you just work on it. Yeah, and instead of just drilling, it's like, and just doing the move, and people are like, oh yeah, okay, you do 5 times, I do 5 times. This is like, that's tight as fuck. I keep doing that, and then they're like, do it again, Gordon. And so we do it. It's like, okay, you didn't replicate it. Let's do it again. So that is the type of drilling that I really like gravitate towards, and I found like most of the guys are pretty good, but like you connect with a few like certain guys more, and when I get to drill with those guys, it's
you learn stuff.
Oh yeah, it's way better.
I haven't seen him in a while, but he's kind of got swapped out with another guy I roll with, and yeah, there's that dialogue, there's that puzzle piece that you're figuring out, and you start talking about it, and I really do enjoy that with those training partners. And one thing my professor said one day, because I went to a class and I was doing with sort of a new guy, and I'm doing that. I'm talking to him because he's less experienced. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking to him like, hey man, like you don't know how to set this up as well. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that to him. He knows that, so he's asking questions, right? So I'm not trying to be condescending to the less experienced guy, but he's asking questions. I'm talking back to him, giving him what I know. And then my professor goes and he's like, yeah, sometimes when I look, I got a move sequence and there's an inversion in it, and then I see like, okay, who do I have in class today? Okay, I've got Sam, and I've got this other big guy that I roll, and I got another big guy I roll with. Maybe I shouldn't do the inversion. Maybe I should teach something else today. And then he just goes, fuck it, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show it to them and see what they can do. And then I look over at you guys, and you guys are talking about it, and you're really having fun trying to figure it out, like it's a puzzle. Like all the flexible 160-pound dudes are just woo, right? They're already moving this way, and it's like, well, no, okay, so we're 240 pounds, and stubbly and not as flexible. Okay, so they can just spin around on their back and put their legs over their head. Okay, well, what if I put my hand here to pull there, to push here, to get into the and he's just like, you guys seem like you're having a lot of fun. So every time I doubt myself, I'm just I go, nah, full send, and he does, and then there's us just staring at it like, oh fuck, how are we gonna figure this out? And then we go into that dialogue in the corner or whatever, and just like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see how this goes, because it is fun. I mean, I've inverted like once or twice.
Once you invert,
during
it's like
a roll,
and you get it. It's really fun.
It's not something I go to though.
But I will say this.
But if I have to, I'll throw it up.
Yeah, but I say this, for bigger guys, it may be harder, like the movement. But if you get like fairly like adept at it, then it's more devastating. Just like every move in jiu-jitsu.
Well, I guess they don't fit. The one thing I got told was like by he's a more experienced guy than me. He's like, man, you're really agile. I don't expect big guys to move fast, but you move faster than you should. And I think that's the same concept. Like, well, they don't expect you to be able to do something like that.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you're inverted. And you're doing a leg entanglement.
But there's more weight behind it too.
There's more weight. There's more.
I would say this, even if say the technique isn't like the highest level, like it's adequate, right? It's good, based on just physics. Like a big guy inverting on you, you're going he catches like a 7 out of 10 version. I mean, it's not like an 8 or 9, dude. You're fucking flying, bro. Like I do not want a big dude inverting on me. Like people are like, oh, you can just dance over him. Fuck no, not if he's got your leg. He's scoop grip your leg and he's fucking spinning under, and he's like 6'2", 6'3". Even you're not, you're 5'10", but you got weight on you, so you're like a fucking barrel. Like you're flying, man. I don't I haven't seen too many big guys invert. I just don't want to be on the receiving end. I've been on leg entanglements on big guys, and it's like, this is fucking terrible.
We did a leg entanglement with one of the partners who's my size, and we were drilling, so we were giving some resistance, but not. We weren't full, and he was meant to get the leg lock.
Yeah.
What he did, he managed to get. He got in the saddle, or ashy, whatever you want to call it, and resisted it. And then he lifted me up so he could lock in a full triangle on the leg beneath the knee. When he locked it in,
so fucking tight.
It's so. I got thick thighs. He's got thick thighs. He locked it in, and I was like, I want to tap to this. I think my quad is gonna snap off the bone.
Explode. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more devastating because the body can only take so much. You see a big guy and two big guys go at it. You see these and then you see two big guys go and go into a leg entanglement. Dude, somebody's leg is gonna fucking explode.
There's only so much space that it can contain.
Yeah.
Well, I did this when it was my turn. Yeah. Did the same thing, and I locked it up, and I just hear, whoo!
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's what I did. Yeah. It's fucking tight.
Yeah, the pressure in your leg, because
you're not escaping that.
Especially if you don't have a gigantic frame, you're not a fucking strong man. You're a big guy, but you're a big guy also because you lift a lot of weights, right? And so you're big, you're muscular, but your bone density, your frame in general isn't gigantic. It's a regular sized dude, but then all that pressure just collapses your frame. Yeah, man,
I mean, it's different if you're doing it on a true strong man, which I wouldn't be able to lock up a triangle on his leg.
Just give him
let alone
an NFL size,
a
defensive end,
not even a linebacker, just a running back.
Yeah,
right. The legs are so big that I wouldn't be able to lock up a triangle around his quad. Forget his torso. I have trouble with regular people locking up a body triangle.
Yeah, I have a hard time with. I have relatively longish legs for my height.
Longer than mine.
Yeah, but I have a hard time because of my hip mobility on my left side, so I can't lock out a triangle when I go to to my left. I was like, shit.
I don't find it's my hip. My hip mobility is okay. Yeah. It's literally the space. I can get to my toes. Yeah. But there's just not enough leg to get the torso.
And your legs are huge too, and your calves, like quads
Yeah,
and legs.
so
like, but if you get it though, it's gonna be fucking tight as fuck.
Yeah, that's fair. But usually I just default to the back.
Yeah, foot on foot.
Yeah, the foot on foot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I usually do that too.
Just checking this timestamp. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Just making sure things are working. Don't technical difficulties. We've had that before.
For sure. But yeah, like today actually, like when we go, we're gonna row like just the first half of the class, and then we're gonna try to see if we can push it past 12, maybe just 5-10 minutes after 12, because I had to go to like a birthday party. But anyways, I'm going to work leg locks. I got a couple guys coming in. They're going to roll as well, but then we're going to jump in and do leg locks, just like braking mechanisms for like that's what I've been doing. Like maybe I wanted to do once a week, but it's been like once every 2, once every 3, because it's like I got rotating schedule for work. They have rotating schedules for work, so I kind of like made friends with a bunch of people, and I just like shoot out texts to everybody, and then people who show up, then if they show up, then we'll try to like work on whatever they want or whatever I want, and they usually let me do what I want. I give everybody.
There's one thing I want to try, which is a straight ankle lock.
Actually, that's what we're working on today. We're doing the outside ankle lock. So like.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. So I usually do like a Z guard, or I do like a half butterfly, and I'll I'll scoop high leg over, and I usually get the leg, but I will default to either a knee bar or in the heel hook. But the thing is, I haven't been able to finish the heel hook on better guys. But then I talked to our one of our best guys, even not the best guy there. He's like, just concentrate on the straight ankle lock when you get to that position, because I can't turn.
You can't get the
leg over even because I'm going outside, but because I've already thrown my leg over, and he defends it. Now it's an inside heel hook for him if I fuck up.
Yeah.
Or I expose my back.
I have heard like the out. What is it? The inside
beats outside.
The inside heel hook is, what is it? It's harder to finish, but it's more secure when you get it.
No, it's harder to place. No, it's harder to place. It's easier. Like if we were
harder to place, easier to finish.
Yeah.
I see. I'm trying to.
So because you had to cross the leg over, but if we were in a shootout, like ready, set, go, and you had the insight, you would break my leg way faster. Just it's already like.
I was trying to figure out which one is harder to set up and easier to finish.
Because the legs already the knees already twisted, right?
Yeah.
So like you can just snap that, whereas I have to finish. I have to turn my belly over. This is something he told me. I was struggling to get the grip onto. To scoop the ankle, because I have shoulder mobility problems. He told me to belly over and use my stomach as another handle to pin the leg.
Yeah, and then you can also put the belly into the knee and drive the hip, which helps the torsion as well.
Oh no, just to get the grip.
The
braking mechanism is fine. It's just like I can't. My shoulder won't go back that far.
One we do is if you've got both legs.
So you have saddle.
So you've got the full set. You can actually elevate to lock in the triangle, but when you do that, you release the other leg because now the heel is already exposed. Mm-hmm. So as you lock in the triangle, you scoop the heel, and then you can go belly down and just done.
Well, when I do get in the saddle, when I got both legs, I guess I don't know the term, said double trouble. When you
some people call it double trouble.
I'm there to break body parts. I don't know the names.
The only reason that I know that you do double trouble is because you can, other than control, but you can threaten the ankle lock. Which is just it's like a 10% possibility of finishing that. Like
I threaten that first every time though. I threaten that first.
But it's just to get them focusing on the wrong leg.
I can finish it maybe maybe a couple times, but then I usually default to the heel because it's just there, and I can blast that one out. You can turn it. But my issue is I haven't gotten. I don't know how far I can take a submission, so I've been really gently cranking, which is what you're supposed to do. But then there are guys they're so fast, they'll get to that point, and then they will stop. They won't break your leg, but they get to that breaking point really quick. Whereas so it's not like me cranking it slowly. Then getting there, they're like bam to the point, and then you're tapping real quick but they won't break it. They'll just hold it there. But it's taking me 3 seconds or 2 seconds. It's taking them a quarter of a second. So then I've been losing it though, right? I've been losing that I lose that position. But I'm also
You're
like
giving an opportunity.
yeah,
for them
yeah,
to
yeah.
defend,
But it's okay
right?
then.
That's fine.
I have a feeling like if I were to if it was comp, I get it. I'm just gonna crank it. Yeah, that's what they were all telling me. Just fucking full send it.
Full send it.
Don't like go 180 degrees backwards. But you know,
Yeah, don't pop their knee.
well,
and
don't
their
completely
ankle.
break it. You might
Yeah,
pop
you
it, but
might pop
don't.
it.
Yeah, so I'll crack.
Because of all the heavy lifting and stuff, I do have like those nitrogen pops in my knees every once in a while. So
Yeah,
sometimes when we're we're practicing leg locks,
Same
people
here.
hear a pop. I'm like, no, that's not you.
Is your knee okay? I'm like, that's
it's
normal.
not the knee.
You should
It's
hear it in
not
the morning.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah, like right now my ankle just cracked. That's just me wiggling my leg around.
Yeah,
So,
I do it with my neck too.
yeah.
Just put all that pressure in your neck.
Yeah, you just get little cracks here and there, but that's how it is. Man.
Just wish this is gonna sound gross. I need to stick a needle in my ass or something to release the tension. I need to go do some dry needling. My back's really bothering me.
Yeah, a couple of people I train with have done that.
It's great.
They say it's good. I don't know about the whole dry needling thing.
Other than the fact that you gotta pay money to a physio, it's fucking great. Like it takes maybe like 25 minutes and just you still gotta stretch and heat and do all that stuff after, but like it releases the muscle enough so that you're no longer in pain. And like it's the first time I did it was for my neck because I like pull everything up here. And yeah, I went to a masseuse, didn't work, and then I went and this guy stuck a bunch of needles in my neck, and I was like, holy shit.
Maybe I'll give it a try then, because my neck's like pretty fucked.
Yeah, it's I know Phil Heath did it a bunch too.
Oh, okay.
He kind of swears by it. Oh. So you know, Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, he's pretty muscle bound, so like if
he
says it works, I guess like.
It does. The theory works. It's different than acupuncture because they don't leave the needle in. They just go in and like 1, 2, 3, and it just right.
Okay.
I've done acupuncture too, and no,
like
I don't
shit.
think that's not for me. When they put like the needles in and put some electrodes on it and like vibrate the thing, I'm like, this is just stupid.
I don't want to do that.
I don't know if it worked. I don't know if it didn't work. I just didn't.
I'll try that before I try what's it called again? Chiropractic or
I won't do chiropractor.
I don't give a shit.
If my spine pops, it pops, but like I don't need you to do it for it.
Yeah, like the Y strap scares the shit out of me.
Oh, around the neck?
I'm like fuck that. Absolutely not.
First time I saw that, I was like, "Is this person dead? Did they just murder
They're
someone
like,
on camera?"
I'm like, oh my god. Like, and they're like, yeah, it feels good, right? They're like, I'm like, fuck that.
I just made this person a quadriplegic. Congratulations.
They go, oh yeah. I think they're in so much pain that whatever pops just feels
good.
so much better. Because when you're like in this chronic, like 8 out of 10 pain, obviously, like if it gets reduced to like a 5 or 6, you just think
that's
like,
worlds better.
Yeah, it's just like holy shit, I feel so much better. But for the rest of us, that 5 or 6 out of 10, it's gonna be like that's gonna suck.
I always wonder like when they do the neck popping thing or the back crack, how long it lasts. Because I know with all the physio, so I know it's different in Canada and the U.S. But in Canada, I know the physios here are basically like, I don't want to see you again. I'm gonna get this fixed until you fuck yourself up. Not okay. I'll see you next week, and then I'll see you next week. Okay, I'll see you next week. Mm-hmm. So I just don't know, like how that works with chiropractors.
I haven't actually gone to physio, so I can't like, relay any experience on that. But like, I only gone to
at least the physios I've gone to are basically like, look, we want to fix you, and maybe this will take 2 or 3 sessions, and then I don't want to see you until you fucked yourself up again.
So they're just really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like, no, I want you to be healthy and working, and I don't need you repeat business.
Yeah,
there's enough business around, so let's get you healthy, let's get you fixed, so you're not moving in pain, and get you out the door.
Yeah, get you the point that you're good to go, kind of thing.
Yeah, as long as you don't do something. Me being me, will inevitably do something that will cause strain on my body. Mm-hmm. So they will see me again, but they're like, not like, well, I want to see you every week for the next 4 years. Right?
Oh yeah, I get like I guess that's American stuff, like version of that.
I just don't know.
That's how it works there.
So, yeah, I'm not sure about.
We're subsidized. Like if you got benefits here, like then like part of that physio is subsidized. So like I think they're not inclined to chase.
They're not ambulance
yeah,
chasers.
yeah, they're not just like, oh, we need to. It's less. They don't need to market as much, or they don't need to push the sale, so to speak, as much to retain customers and stuff. Yeah, because customers are coming in. Yeah,
they're gonna be in. They're gonna be here.
Yeah,
somewhere.
And for sure.
We need more. I've been lucky. I've had good physios. Maybe not all physios are like the ones I found, but at least I've been to 3 or 4, and I've stuck with 2. One I was mad at because he went back to Britain. But that's not because he was a bad physio. That's because I wanted to see him again, and he was.
Oh, he went
home
to deal with the NHS, which is like that's like a fucking dumpster fire.
Right? Wrapped in a tornado.
Yeah, it's like the future of our healthcare system. It's like looking into the future. You look at it like, oh my god, like it's pretty brutal back there.
I mean, I wouldn't mind free prescriptions, but the bureaucracy I could do without.
Yeah. Well, they went too far with like going in the way of like Greece, like just all these like government handouts, and next thing you know, your economy can't sustain it. It has to be a better balance. Like, we won't go into politics here. This is
no. We'll save
that
for next
that
episode.
That could be like
we're gonna miss
a week.
We're gonna miss rolling. We're just gonna keep talking about dumpster fire garbage shit around the world. So Kamala Harris and Trump. No, I'm just kidding.
We're not going.
No, I don't want to. Not a 10-foot pole.
That's a personal conversation.
But we were also thinking because we're okay. Just go back to what you were saying. That's a cool way you set up open mats. If you do some rolling and then like do some as you do rolling.
That's how I set it up.
And then you do some drilling after, basically.
I think because as an older guy, I made some good friends, to like training friends and whatnot. So like when I got back to Jiu-Jitsu, I was like 38 and a half. I was like, man, I want to get good as fast as possible. And I know a lot of people, when they start Jiu-Jitsu or start back up Jiu-Jitsu, they're kind of shy. But I was like, man, the average age there that got people training are like in their mid-20s. So I was like, man, I'm gonna come in, instead of being the antisocial I was when I was in my 20s, I'm just gonna be really nice. Just be happy. Like, why should I be happy to be there? And then I'll just be friends with everybody who wants to be friends with me. And then I did that, and I started making friends. Well, right? When you're nice to people. And then...
It's funny that guys can do that, and I find that women have more trouble doing that.
I think guys try to... Most guys, not all guys, but generally try to, like, cut through that bullshit, right? It's like, we have a goal. Okay, I have a goal. Like, I need to be sociable to... This is a social sport. Like, you cannot train jiu-jitsu by yourself perpetually to get better. So like
you need an opponent.
Yeah, multiple. You can't just have one guy either.
No,
you need
that's true.
A group of people.
And it's funny because no matter how many different opponents you have, you'll always encounter someone new, and you're like, wow, that was different.
Yeah.
That actually happened. That a new guy came in, and I didn't know what. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I just assume everybody is a black belt. That's how I do it.
But it was my. I don't know. It was late in the roll, and the guy's like, "Hey, man, you want to finish the round?" Because I was a little gassed. It's fine. I'm still dealing with my asthma. Anybody cares about that? Mm-hmm. But I got a doctor now, so I'm seeing an actual will be my doctor on Tuesday.
Yeah, not like a rent-a doctor.
Not a rent-a doctor that I've been going to get my drugs, to get my state-sponsored steroids. And he rolled, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm kind of tired. I'll play defense. So I started in open guard, whatever. And I was just playing really nice. And by the end of the roll, I realized, okay, this guy's got some skill. And I should stop fucking around and actually start rolling. Because he almost got me in a stand. He did a guillotine shakedown and went to turn my back. And I'm like, okay, never mind. I think I need it. And then the bell rang. And I'm like, damn. Oh well. Whatever. That round's over. But you never know when you start okay, how, because especially if they're like, oh yeah, this is his second class here. I'm like, well, it'd be really kind of a dick move if I'm like, and boom, shoot a single, smash, right? Because maybe he is brand new and he wants to come back. And I didn't have time to have that conversation, because the round had already started. Oh, you done jiu-jitsu before? Right? So yeah, it was just one of those ones where I'm like, I didn't feel good about that roll, but that was on me, not my training partner.
Yeah, I usually
So-
I ramp it up if they ramp it up. Even like if it escalates like 0 to 100, then I'll do the same thing. Obviously, then I'm a step behind, but that's okay. You know, I figure it's like in comp, like sometimes like you go in, try to be chill, be calm, and then the guy is like super aggressive, and you just have to match that energy, or you have to like calm them back down, that kind of thing.
He wasn't super aggressive or anything like that, but I started in guard, tried grabbing the legs, maybe doing the leg entry. He was pretty chill. He was moving back and forth, and then ended up in half guard, and I tried to sweep him. That didn't work, so I wrestled up, and then we ended up standing. And by the time we got to where he started to ramp up, the bell rang, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's where it was going, but it is what it is. So... But in my head, I was like, when he got back to standing, I'm like, I should have been more aggressive. I should have been more aggressive. But that's why I need to do the video diary, so I can tell myself these things.
Yeah, but it's training, right?
Yeah,
it's training. Like I have my fucking journal, and then like I have like how many rounds I did, and like and how long they were, and then I have a notes like today I got smashed. Dear diary.
Oh, this is
why did I get smashed?
It drove me nuts because he got me in the standing guillotine, and I just sort of thumbed out of it. And I'm like, what was I supposed to do? No, I was supposed to put my head up, step behind, take him down, instead of, white belt.
Yeah.
Right? But I wasn't thinking. I was like, oops, is what it is. I'll remember that for next time.
Yeah. Speaking of rolling with like lower belts or perceived lower belts, like sometimes I do worse
against the lower belts.
Yeah, because
you expect less of them.
Yeah, you get caught. Like, my God, like this
caught
is
off guard.
So I end up defending stuff that I shouldn't. Right? Because like when you go against someone clearly better than you, you're hyper vigilant about all your techniques. You're trying to tuck. You're just fucking defending.
You're guarding your ankles and you're tucking your hands in and you're watching your neck. And
yeah. Sometimes I've gotten too confident. I just kind of let my leg out there. Like leave my leg. And then, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in a terrible position. Yeah, I'll fight out of it. Like 9 times out of 10, I'll get out. But that one time is like, holy shit. But that's okay. I take it as a lesson learned. It's like, okay, clearly if that was somebody who was like really good, my leg would have been gone 2 minutes earlier. So like,
it is
that's
weird.
it. That's how it is.
Weird how I don't know if you find this. The deeper the rolls get, the I don't know, not the less my mind's working, but like the less I'm remembering things, just we're running on instinct.
Well, you're exhausted too.
Yeah, so it's just like
I'm not really thinking.
So everyone, and then it gets to the point where something happens, you're in a weird position. I'm like, oh, I actually have to think my way out of this. But my brain turned off already. What do I do?
Yeah, right? I think that's why.
Which coach told me how to get out of this? And where
I think at that point, if you have to think, it's kind of too late. But that's why it's good to have to remember concepts rather than actual moves. It's like, okay, what do I do first every time I'm in this position? Well, what do I need to address first? And if you do that, usually it's like, it's good.
You're okay.
You're okay. I need to address. Yeah, because at that point, like at least for me, like you can't think anymore. You just have to be like.
Yeah, you're not problem solving.
Like, you can think of one thing. It's very singular. It's like, okay, address the hands. That's it. And then that's done. Then it's like step by step. And that way, I think you can think your way through. But if you want to think like the whole sequence, you're fucked.
Yeah,
you're so fucked.
Okay, what's the immediate problem? What's the solution to that immediate problem? Okay, what's the next problem?
Yeah.
The thing with that is if you are rolling with somebody with experience, they're already 3 steps ahead of you. So by the time you thought of one, you're like, and I'm in part 3.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
What do I remember? Do I remember anything? And okay, it happened. It's fine.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's training. Some people like if you want to be like upset about tapping out, then you should leave that for comp.
I only get upset at myself, never my training partner.
Yeah.
If it was something that like you've gotten out of this like 100 times, what did you not do there that you normally would have done?
Yeah.
And that's less being like mad at myself for getting tapped. It's more being like, hey, stupid.
Yeah.
What were you doing there? What can you learn?
Yeah. Actually, I was like that. Like I agree with you. Like that's good. A much better way or a good way to look at it. I was doing that, but I'm doing less of that now because I felt like even that was getting like that ride home. You're like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that. But then I'm starting to care less because I was like, oh yeah, he did catch me in that. Oh, that was dumb. But then I think I just try to think back, like, oh okay, like what could I have done better? Because usually like what you did, what you think you did, or what you should have done isn't the issue. It's like, for example, if I get in like a entanglement, and they say, oh, I should have defended this. The thing is, this guy is a leg lock like expert at this point. I shouldn't have been in a leg entanglement in the fucking first place. And
yeah.
If you think about it, that's how I look at it. I say, okay, like how do I avoid this trap
in the first place? Yeah.
And it's not to say that I won't get fucked up somewhere else. It's just like if that's what I was concerned about. Oh man, he keeps tagging me out with like leg locks and stuff. Like unless I'm purposely throwing myself in there, which which I do to my I used to say to my own detriment. Since I get tapped. It's
for your education.
Yeah, like the end result is me getting tapped out. But the thing is, like I'm getting better at it, and then there's a standard. Like okay, this is what it's like.
There's a difference if you're like just getting tapped out, and not learning anything.
Yeah.
As opposed to okay, I'm trying to do something. Trying to learn. Yeah. Okay, I got tapped out. That's fine. Yeah. Right.
Or if you're just longer to tap you out,
or it takes longer to tap.
Like you now, it's like a fight. Like
if you're just getting tapped out left, right, and center over something.
Sometimes that.
Sometimes that happens, but sometimes you got to realize, like, okay, maybe this guy's just way beyond me right now. And I need to try this activity, this part of the sport with somebody else.
Yeah. Some people get too caught up. Right? So it's like, oh, I keep tapping to these 3, 4, 5 guys, and then you dig out more information out of them. It's like, well, yeah, these 4 or 5 guys literally tap out everyone in the gym. They've been training consistently. You haven't. You train as a recreational. If you're a rec athlete, you're not going to compare to these guys. No matter if like you do 6 hours of like instructionals a day, these guys don't even watch instructions. They just come to Jiu-Jitsu 6 days a week and train.
There is no getting around. Just drilling and rolling with other humans.
Exactly. And then the thing is like you see them, you want to copy them. It's a bit of a trope that everybody wants to see like higher, like elite level or near elite level athletes train. It's like what's like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James doing. But instead of looking at like you can't do what they're doing because fundamentally you can't do what they do. Like you're too weak fundamentally. So you have to go back to what they were doing in elementary school, what they were doing in high school. So
it's the whole crawl, walk, run, right? Like, and Kobe's sprinting.
Yeah.
Right? And you're barely
stumbling
crawling.
All over the fucking place, right?
You're trying to figure out what feet are.
Yeah, exactly. So like in talking about feet, leg entanglements, it's like I'm going into a leg entanglement like 45 steps behind. Like I've already set up wrong. So like you need to be doing that at a lower level. You need to be some of these guys don't drill anymore. It's almost ecological, but because they're so good, they don't. It's not
instinct.
And then now they just drill while they roll. But then you still need to drill.
You still need to drill.
Yeah. So
we do positional sparring, right?
Yeah.
As part of the training before live roll, and one of the ones I got paired up with a guy I do like to roll with. He's a brown belt, but I know he's good at leg locks, and we were starting in 50-50. And I, as soon as because I was like, hey, he kind of looked at me and did the finger thing, how some people do that in class, just kind of make eye contact, like you. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, all right. And then professor's like, all right, 50-50, positional roll. I just looked at him like, all right, it's time to get tapped a bunch because I know he's good at leg locks. And I don't know, in 6 minutes, he was being nice. I think I only got tapped 6 times. Yeah. It was like once a minute. But it was just like I did learn a few things about where to put my feet to defend and this better, right? And he let me try something on him and it didn't work, but I did. At least he was amenable to me learning. He just didn't bam. But then I was talking with another bud, and he was mentioning a different brown belt. And he's like, hey, he looked at me. He's like, do you do the chin strap thing? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you're in turtle, you just grab the chin? I'm like, yeah, all the time. I'm like, you don't do that? He's like, no. He's like, but he does it just all the time. It just seems to always end up on my chin. And I was like, dude, he's rolled 5 days a week for 9 years. Like, he's not even thinking about putting his hand there. His hand is just there.
Yeah.
Right? It's just that's where it goes.
Yeah.
So like, don't feel bad about it happening to you. Like it's going to happen because that's just where his hand is going to be, and he's not thinking about it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be like you and he's a bigger guy. It'd be like you and me in side mount just doing the, face pressure. Like, are you thinking about that anymore? No. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, what you said, eventually with those guys who are, rolling that much, training that hard over that amount of time, like, I think that's when flow rolling really comes into it. Because it'd be like, when I was a white belt, we tried to flow, you just end up rolling. Because you don't know enough to flow.
Yeah. Flow rolling, I think it's like, I think it's still misunderstood. I think like once you get to like a particular level, like really good flow rolling, it's like I catch the leg, I might put it on, I let go, the guy defends. It's like a lot of give and take, right? It's like I got you, but I'm not gonna finish.
It's almost like a dance.
Yeah.
It's not quite choreographed, but you both know the steps.
Yeah, it's like I think people can conceptualize it better if because I think striking, like any striking sport, is more palatable, I guess. Like visually,
it's easier to understand.
Yeah, so when you see people,
it's still complex, but it's visually and mentally easier.
It's like light sparring.
Understand the concept. Yeah.
Like when you're doing really light sparring, medium
just taps.
Yeah, taps.
Just taps.
Well, maybe like 30%, 40%. Like it's and that kind of thing. Then that's like what flow rolling is like. Right? A lot you can get away with a lot more things that you wouldn't. But it's not really about getting away. It's more like getting used to I could do this, but also I could have been fucking caught with this. But then it's like kind of like then you kind of have to balance like okay, is the risk worth the reward in this situation? Like, I'm willing to fucking take a hit. And like even, as long as my guard is up, if I go for the like a body shot, so okay. But like if you try to learn that in the heat of like a battle, like a real hard sparring session, you might just get plastered. So it's probably
just take a left hook to the
new
face.
New ideas and techniques and moves or like systems are not something you test out when for the first time or a second time or a third time. If in the middle of a hard roll against somebody you train with, it's like game time. It's an actual really hard roll. Like it's gonna fail like 99% of the time. If you get it, it's because it was a fluke.
Well, I'm not gonna throw myself into a weird leg entanglement if I'm having a super hard roll against a purple belt.
Probably not.
Because he's matching the intensity. Or maybe pushing the pace a little bit. If I suddenly decide I'm going to practice this, I'm going to get fucked up because he's already at his engine's already revving.
You're practicing. He's applying.
Yeah, so like you got to judge those situations.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and I do remember having a hard roll like that, and just going back to all of my basics. Right, so okay, put me on bottom. Good, half guard, grab the leg, scoop the leg, tin over, forget the leg, the backside 50-50, wrestle up, get the back. Okay, now he's back down, guard pass, knees, this, head, tri-point, right? And it just kept going like that, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And, but like that is not the time that I'm going to be like, I don't know, let's fucking throw out a straight ankle lock from standing, with the kitchen door. I'm just making shit up at this point. Like that's not the time for me to try that.
Yeah.
Right?
You could, but it's not.
But what's going to happen? Most likely I'm going to get...
Yeah. You're not going to really learn anything.
I'm just going to end up getting smashed.
Exactly.
And be like...
Then you might not attempt it again. It's like, oh, that shit doesn't work.
That shit doesn't work. No.
You just suck.
It does work, except you're trying something you've never really tried before.
Yeah.
On someone who's not only more experienced than you, but is also going at a pace that's much higher pace. Yeah. So like if you're going to do that, it needs to be quick, on point, and accurate, right?
Yeah.
You're not there yet, so...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm remembering a very specific role.
Yeah. I will say this, that it's kind of okay to throw up, like, not, garbage, I guess, like
Hail
Marys against somebody who's not as good as you, and you know it, you can kind of get away with it.
Sure.
And then if
that's
it's
me with every triangle on so many.
But the point is that like it actually can be like a positive reinforcement. It's like, okay, I got it, I got whatever. Say it's like a fucking. Like,
good. I got to
like a knee bar or whatever. It's like, holy shit, how did I get in here? It was really sloppy. He's just so much worse than you that you got it. And that's a positive reinforcement. It's like, okay, if I clean this up,
it could work.
It probably should work. And then you try to get somebody better, and you get smashed. It's like, okay, like
somewhere in the middle,
and then you get better, right? And then you finally get that person or someone of that equal level, and it's okay. It's like I'm on the right path. Whereas if you were to try against someone so much better, then you fuck up. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm never going to put myself in that position again. Like that's
if you go try
it's a negative reinforcement.
If you go try like a half guard knee bar entry on the 2-stripe black belt, you're probably gonna get your back taken and choked out. Like, because that's the wrong person to try. If it's like your third attempt.
Yeah, it's also it's so fucking loose and sloppy. Like you're against someone worse than you. You're allotted a lot.
You're allotted a little.
Yeah, like a lot. Leeway. Tons of leeway actually. Because if they're worse than you, chances are their defense is significantly worse than yours. Because that defense, usually
they might have one good thing they're really good at. And
well, usually people are concentrating on offense, and then defense follows up. It's really rare you find someone who's just adamant about like having like this elite level. They're chasing defense over. And retention over like submissions and positions stuff. They're just or passing, whatever you want to call it. They're just like it's really rare you find somebody like that.
I think sometimes when I roll, I wobble between being defensive and being offensive.
No, actively being defensive. It's like, dude, it's like people want offensive systems, but like it's because they gravitate to that, and then you won't find too many people like, yeah, I'm gonna become this. Fucking black belt in defense. My offense
never
is
pass
like
my guard.
Belt. Yeah.
You will never touch my face.
Like you'll never pass.
There will always be distance.
Yeah. Yeah. Like how many? It's really not until you become like a purple belt, or maybe even before that, like a really like a disciplined blue belt. You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna concentrate on fucking retention. And framing.
I've been trying.
It's really rare.
I've been trying to better my guard retention, but like. 2 out of 10. So
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. That's the way I feel.
Like,
every time I try to re-guard or something,
or
get back into open guard or anything like that, I'm like, 2 out of 10.
I think you have to contextualize that. Like if you give me a side mount, and I'm like, oh man, I can't get a side mount. That's not guard retention. That's fucking escaping a side mount.
I'm talking about different between escaping or wrestling up or something.
That's too far gone.
That's too far gone.
Yeah.
I'm feeling okay about that. I'm talking about like just general. Get my feet and knees between me and the opponent.
Person, yeah, and before they can
before they can
establish position.
Like I found myself in a trap, and I'm kind of getting out of this where it's like, oh, he's passing my half guard. I'll just let him go to side mount, fake the knee push, and then do the ghost. What is it?
Ghost sweep or
ghost whatever, where you come up. On top.
Yeah, you go underneath. This ghost escape. Yeah,
ghost escape.
Dude,
and
once they find out, people figure it out.
Once they figure it out, I'm like, once they figure out I'm doing this, I'm going to be fucked. So you know what? I should really focus on.
I had a lot of success with that when I got into Jiu-Jitsu. But then the guys,
once they figure it out,
they know your game now. Like, yeah, fuck, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I had to. Once I realized I was doing that, I'm like, okay, you got to put a kibosh on this and find a better way to set it up. So even if you're faking guard retention and then fall into it, that's better than just being like, and here goes the hand, here I go, right? Because they're just gonna stuff it eventually, right? Yeah. So
you become a one-trick pony, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions with so-called one-trick ponies. Those guys are not one-trick ponies. They especially if they get everybody all the time with it. It's just that's their best trick. Yeah. They did a lot of stuff to set it up, and you did a lot of wrong things too. So they're just so far ahead that they can exploit your deficiencies, and you're so not close to where they are, like in terms of defense versus their offense, that they can play around with you. So it seems like they're like a one-trick pony. One-trick ponies are not, unless it's like a flying armbar. But even then, like if you constantly get caught by a guy who can do 5 like a flying submission, something super dynamic, super hard to get. If he's catching everybody with that, fundamentally, either and it can be both. Like he's just fucking world class at this, but every single one you have a massive deficiency. You've this guy who fucking just keeps catching everybody and flying submissions. Like at some point, the rest of the gym needs to be like, okay, what the fuck is this? Like what the fuck? What's going on here? Why do we keep Cal like that? It's not just like once a month. It's like every time he comes to training, 6 days a week, where how many times he comes, he's catching at least one person in this. And not like the white local, the starting white belt. I mean like the purple belts, the brown belts, or maybe even black belt. Somewhere,
something
fucked
if he's that good, he's probably, if he does roll with a white belt, he's probably like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, he's probably not going thorough on it. It's no point.
There's no point because it's just he knows it's going to catch him.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So what's the point? He's going to try something else.
Yeah.
But if if he is that good, he's doing that one thing to everybody over and over. That's when you got to start being like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. And like specifically one or two things. Then there's guys who are leg lock like experts. They're not just spamming one fucking heel hook, okay? They have a whole entire system, and it's like, okay, it's like if they keep catching the same heel hook, it's because you're fucking leaving that shit there for them, and you can't defend it.
But I never feel bad if I get caught with three different leg submissions in a row, because I'm like, well, at least they were different, so I learned from the first one, so we didn't do the first one again.
Like because you defend it, most likely defend it, and he had to switch, so like
memory bank.
Yeah, so because the whole entire system to it, and fundamentally he's just better. So like he's fucking choosing and picking. He's actually most of the time when they go, anybody that's good, when they go for a submission, if they get it, of course they're happy. But like it's a dilemma, trilemma. It's like there's three options. It's A, B, and C, but they'll take C, and C is just as good as A, because the issue is like pick your poison.
It's not a grade ranking system. It's just
A1, like 1A, 1B, 1C kind of thing.
It's a menu.
Yeah, it's a menu. Like what is he going to eat? Whatever the fuck he wants. Really, it's like whatever you give him, he's going to eat it. Yeah. That's the thing that the people really need to understand. Like it's these trilemmas, whatever you want to call them. The option is there for them to do all three if they're good.
I remember seeing this. Really it was from The Office, the American one, where somebody was playing chess against the other, and they put over like blue, BJJ blue belt, like BJJ black belt, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. You don't want to do that. Why? Because if you do this, I'll do that. Okay, what if I do this? No, I'll do that. What if I do this? You don't want to do that, right? And it's just like, well, in your example of the menu, they know the whole menu. Yeah. Like the appetizers. Yeah. Like they know the back end specialty drinks, and you're still on the front page. So you just gotta kind of just try to learn the best you can.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that can also be the hardest part, because I think my ego's been sufficiently crushed by life at this point.
Jiu-Jitsu fucking crushed my ego.
I still have a bit of ego, a little bit of arrogance, I guess, but not when it comes to certain things. But like, there is a point where you will be crushed enough that you will realize, right, I'm here to learn. I'm not here to be a superstar or whatever.
Yeah, and then I think just like any sport, because like in any sport you look, I think it goes for most people, even the guys who say they don't care. Like let's take like basketball for instance. Everybody wants to be like in an NBA, and they when they imagine playing like at the park or whatever, what it could be like competitive rec or whatever it is, they imagine themselves like at a certain level, and that's why there's egos at the fucking rec park league. Like guys just like talking shit, but none of these guys would sniff the NBA, right? Yeah. So like they got more ego than like a guy who's like starting in the NBA. It's like fucking insane. But like the same it goes with like any other sport, like especially in combat sports, right? But the bar is so low, like the bar to entry is so low in Jiu-Jitsu. You get all these people thinking like, oh man, I can be on the B team. I can be one of the stars of the B team. I can be one of the stars of New Wave and et cetera, Atos, AOJ, and then
10th Planet. Yeah,
10th Planet, like one of the 10 planets, whatever. Like, you think you can be this stud, but the thing is, like, if you want to take like a sport like basketball, there are guys who will never make an NBA team, and if you try to, but they're so fucking good that if you try playing basketball with them, you get wrecked. Like
Yeah.
they're closer to the NBA skill level than you are to the fucking high school like level. Like they would just murder you. It would be like 40-0, like in a 1-on-1 game. And the same thing with Jiu-Jitsu. Like there's people out there, they discredit how hard it is to be elite. And then they discredit their skill set. Like say you're a black belt. So many times people are like to themselves, "Oh, I'm just an average black belt." Like, and they're competitive, they're competing and stuff. And then a lot of people be like, "Oh, this guy sucks. What has he done? He's only barely won locally." And
Yeah,
then,
but
then
you
you
go
roll
to
with
know
them,
him and
they'll
he just
fuck
fucking
you up.
annihilates
They'll
you.
fuck you up.
Yeah.
You're like, then you get this existential crisis. Like, "Oh, what's wrong with me? I'm so good because I'm the top purple belt stud in my gym." I'm like, dude, this guy, he gets fucked up by guys in the top 50 in his weight class. But if you're not there, he's gonna, like, dude, he's closer to the top 50 than you are to him. Like,
Yeah,
we're
it's
all
like
apart,
it
man.
was like that example of like, what was it? Cleopatra lived closer to modern day than she did to the time of the pyramids. Well, you're in the pyramids.
Yeah.
And she's Cleopatra, or he's Cleopatra.
Yeah.
And he's almost in the modern age.
Yeah,
And
you're not even a real Egyptian at the time, right? You're so
just-
diluted. Yeah. So like it's the same thing with like Jiu-Jitsu. Like you have to. I think it's worse off now because of social media. Because
Yeah.
it's so it's this instant. It's like with anything with social media. It's this instant gratification. There's access to the behind the scenes and the illusion of it.
Well, it is. Don't get me wrong. I've had the delusion. I recognize
Well,
it was a delusion of like,
same with
man,
me,
I would
yeah.
love to ADCC Masters champ or something in
We're fucking
6 years or 7 years, right?
Dude, I
And
was
then
crazy. I was like,
immediately-
ADCC medalist,
yeah.
man. Like adult,
Or,
just
oh,
regular.
I can compete in the CGI once you get like,
Yeah. Of course, you dream about that.
and then you just get rickrolled. But
Yeah.
like, of course you're gonna have those fantasies and delusions. That's just part of being human.
Yeah.
Recognizing though how, and the thing is, especially in a combat sport, you are going to get humbled real quick
Yeah.
by at what your skill level is. So unless you're a true superstar, like you're gonna find out real quick
Yeah.
what you're capable of and probably what your upper limit is gonna be. Do I
Yeah.
think I can get a black belt in 8-9 years? Yes.
Yeah.
If I stick with it.
Yeah,
Do I think I'm going to be an ADCC champ? Fuck no. I don't. No. There's going to be, especially in that time frame, there's going to be a D1 wrestler who started when he was 5 and started jiu-jitsu when he was 15 and got his black belt by like 21. And so, what are you going to do?
He's dedicated his whole life to
Not
it.
to mention
Yeah.
he's like Kansas boy strong.
Yeah, he's a
fucking
stud. He's a-
220 pounds of nothing but fuck
muscle.
you and muscle.
Yeah.
Like,
You're not gonna compete with that. like, good luck.
Like, good luck.
No amount of steroids is gonna fucking gonna help you there, man.
right? So it's just
Yeah, do
You
you
gotta
give,
change-
but with that said, like, do you just fucking give up?
No.
No. Like,
because I consider, this is maybe just me, I consider a lot of life closer to golf than it is to most other things. Who are you really competing against? Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look at the best golfers in the world, they're not really competing
Mm-hmm.
against the guy next to them. They happen to be golfing next to him until they get into that final round where, you know, you're off by 2 strokes and there is
Yeah.
somebody who you got to beat. 9 times out of 10, they're on the golf course. They're like, just trying to do better than I did yesterday.
yeah. Well, I would say this, like, I think, yeah, I understand what you're saying there. And,
My poor analogy.
no, it makes sense. I think it's like because it's combat sports, because the egos are so high that
And because there's another human involved.
and it's like you tap out. It's submission. So it's like, fuck, I'm a bitch, but you're not. It's like you live to fight another day. It's like getting knocked out. Are you
That
are you a bitch? No, you just got fucked up.
You got caught.
I mean, like, the thing is that everything has been so romanticized. Like say like war, the ultimate form of combat. Like, you think you're gonna go in there and be some GI Joe?
I'm Achilles.
Yo, yeah.
Like, no, you're not.
Like, listen, if
You're fucking grunt.
if fucking Delta Force members can get killed off, buddy, what are you, Mr. Army recruit? Like, just
Well, that's why,
basic
like-
training, you're going to get fucking murdered. So the thing is, like, but the training between like a regular Navy SEAL, like average Navy SEAL, versus like a civilian is so fucking
Far.
so apart. Like to being a regular Navy SEAL would just put you so far ahead. Maybe you're not the greatest Navy SEAL of all time.
Just a little.
It's still like the skill set that you're gonna get puts you so above
ahead.
every other human being that doesn't have that type of training. It's gonna it sets you up for life. Like Jiu-Jitsu isn't life, but it's gonna give you like if you get to a black belt, like you're a legit black belt, but you're gonna have a fighting ability that 96% of the population that won't have. And Jiu-Jitsu isn't the greatest form of combat, okay?
It's a form of combat.
It is a form of combat, so let's not get twisted. The greatest form of combat is probably MMA, because especially if you because you have options, right? Like most Jiu-Jitsu guys can't fucking throw a punch to save their life. So like MMA is probably the best bang for your buck. Like if you want to get good, if you want to get good at fighting, like in a sport, and you want to get good at fighting in life, like hand-to-hand combat, just no weapons, MMA is the one to go because you have all those options. Like you get in a fucking street fight, because that's what it's all about. I think that's what ego stems from. Is because people think they can fucking take the shit to the street. I don't want to fucking fight in the street. I'm not rolling around concrete. I'm not going to throw hands in the street if I don't have to. Like,
fighting in the street's stupid.
Yeah, I'm not trying to end up in prison, especially in Canada. Yeah. Defending yourself might fucking end you up in prison.
Manslaughter charge of 5 years.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's a good point. I think next time we should talk about the so-called street fight crap that happens. Like, oh, it's no good in the street, or this is no good in the street. And it's like, well, it's kind of a different type of fighting. Completely. Like it's not, or what's been going on. I've seen lately. We can talk about this next time. Is the is Jiu-Jitsu good for self-defense or some shit like that? And it's like, well, there's a difference between sports fighting and I gotta save my life fighting.
Yeah, for sure.
But we can talk about that next time. I think we might need to wrap this one up.
Yeah, we're gonna get it.
But hey, this is our first one. We're actually sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
And
this is easier to talk to.
It's much. Yeah. Well, I can actually look at you.
Yeah.
Because you pay attention.
There's no lag either.
I always pay attention because I love this guy. So, in any case, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Right.
Peace.
Yeah.